Ever since I can remember, I've been drawn to nature. Whenever I was little, I would often find myself outside in a pile of mud or sprawled out in a field of grass without a care in the world. Whenever I was overwhelmed or got stressed or maybe made a bad grade, you knew exactly where to find me. Recent studies have shown that exposure to the natural world can actually elevate our mood, soothe stress, enhance our physical health, and improve our cognitive ability. Do you ever wonder why students in classrooms with windows perform more efficiently? Or why patients staying in hospital rooms with a view recover faster? Or why you feel significantly better when on a vacation? Because nature has always been the primary link to balancing our well-being. During an interview with the American Psychological Association, Dr. Lisa Nisbet, a psychologist at Trent University, said that there is mounting evidence from dozens and dozens of researchers that nature has benefits for both the physical and psychological human well-being. She explains how even those in urban nature can experience the array of positive outcomes nature provides. She says you can boost your mood just by walking in nature, even in urban nature, and the sense of connection you have with the natural world seems to contribute to your overall health and happiness. It's no surprise that the importance of our connectedness with nature is being more frequently recognized for its many impacts on humankind, one of which being our psychological well-being. According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to maintain a contribution to his or her own community. With this being said, when someone can't meet this description, they may be suffering from a mental disorder, such as anxiety, bipolar disorder, or depression. Research shows that being in contact with nature can reduce risk for developing such disorders and even soothe those struggling with them. The presence of green space in urban areas has been proven to play a huge part in soothing stress and helping individuals cope. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is green space? Well, green space is essentially exactly what it sounds like, an area of green, trees, vegetation set apart in an urban environment. Green space can be anything from a public park to a flower bed in an office building. A study was done in Denmark in 2019 where a group examined data from more than 900,000 residents born between 1985 and 2013. They found that children who lived in neighborhoods with more green space had a reduced risk for psychiatric disorders in life, including depression, mood disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and substance use disorders. For children with lowest exposure to green space, the risk for developing such disorders was 55% higher than those with lots of green space. This is not to say that mental health is simply decided by the amount of green space you're exposed to as a child, but scientists are realizing that it is a factor. The trend is the same with adults. For example, in the UK's Shetland Islands, doctors have been prescribing exposure to nature, such as bird watching or walks on the beach, to calm anxiety and depression. The term, "I need a breath of fresh air," is commonly used when an individual is stressed and needs a moment to think to themselves. I know I myself have used this phrase many a times when feeling compressed and overwhelmed. Taking a step outside, even for a minute, can significantly decrease the levels of stress hormones being produced and boost the mood of the individual. Stanford put on a study where two groups walked for 90 minutes. One group walked on a busy street while the other walked in a grassland area. The researchers did brain scans before and after, and the results showed that neural activity in the subgenual prefrontal cortex, an area of the brain that is commonly associated with depression, decreased among the participants who walked in nature. Being present in nature benefits our mental stability and health. It has the power of regulating our emotions and balancing our well-being. Studies are also being conducted on the effects nature has on our physical well-being. Exposure to the environment has been linked to higher physical activity, lower heart rates, and decreasing the negative impacts of pollution. Vegetation has been discovered to buffer exposure to air pollution by removing ozone, particulate matter, and carbon monoxide from the air. Cities have even gone as far as installing vegetative buffers in areas that have a high risk for air pollution. Vegetative buffers are strips of dense vegetation, shrubs, and trees that are used to filter or block air pollution. They are commonly placed between a polluting source and neighborhoods, daycare facilities, public parks, senior centers, and schools. Science shows that nature improves the quality of our air, which directly impacts us by ensuring the air we breathe in is healthy. In fact, nature's cleansing of our air has been linked to improving our cardiovascular function. Exposure to air pollution and to metals in the environment have been found to be very damaging to our cardiovascular function and even lead to cardiovascular disease. Vegetation, however, has the ability to lessen pollutants, which in turn decreases the risk of cardiovascular issues. Now, let's take a look at another unfamiliar word, biophilia. This is a hypothesis that suggests human beings have evolved to have an affinity for nature, plants, and living things. This is saying that over time we have basically become more connected and dependent on our environment. Throughout generations, even in primitive times, humankind has relied on nature for answers. This is why nature can be seen everywhere in our society, in our schools, in our homes, in our architecture, and in our jobs. In fact, nature has even been found to be a major factor in the education and academic performance of our children. Australian researchers asked students to engage in a dull, attention-draining task where they pressed a computer key and certain numbers flashed up on a screen. They had one group of students pause in the middle of the test for 40 seconds to look at a flowering green rooftop, and the other group a concrete rooftop. To no surprise, the students who saw the green rooftop made fewer mistakes than the other group. Natural scenes not only alleviate stress, but also improve our cognitive function and enhance focus. Presence of green space has been shown to improve concentration as well. The attention restoration theory holds that nature replenishes one's cognitive ability, which restores the ability to concentrate and pay attention. Nature may even have the capability to assist individuals with attention deficit disorder, or ADD. Researchers at the University of Illinois found that 20 minutes in nature, or green therapy, helps reduce unwanted symptoms in adults suffering with ADD. One of the reasons why green therapy works is because when you and your brain are in a relaxed place, your voluntary attention, or what you are focusing on, such as stresses and things in your life, moves to the back of your brain, and your involuntary attention sets in, allowing your brain to rest and relax. Being outside is like a balm for our busy minds. Every time you experience a bit of nature, your body is reacting and changing, from soothing stress and decreasing depression hormones to restoring cognitive ability and improving cardiovascular function. Nature continues to surprise scientists with its endless benefits. Nature allows us to let our inner child shine and balances our bodies, minds, and hearts. All this goes to show that humankind truly is nurtured by nature. Thank you.